In a near-future world obsessed with human-computer augmentations, society is divided between high-tech corporations and everyday people. Meet Gray Trace, a stay-at-home mechanic living a quiet life with his wife Asha, until a single day changes everything. Gray Trace, played by Logan Marshall Green, is a regular mechanic who lives with his wife Asha, portrayed by Melanie Vallejo. Asha works for Cobalt, one of the companies fueling the rise in human-computer augmentations. One day, Gray asks Asha to help him return a refurbished car to his client, Aaron Keane, a famed tech innovator heading a rival company called Vessel. During his visit, Aaron unveils his newest breakthrough, an AI chip known as STEM, designed to serve as an auxiliary brain. But fate has a cruel twist in store. On their drive home, Gray and Asha's self-driving car malfunctions and crashes into a homeless camp. In the chaos that follows, four mysterious men appear. They shoot Asha in the stomach and Gray in the neck, severing his spinal cord. Gray watches in horror as Asha bleeds out by his side. Months later, Gray returns home, now a wheelchair-bound quadriplegic, tormented by depression and grief as he struggles to come to terms with Asha's death. Haunted by loss and his own despair, Gray attempts suicide. But fate intervenes when Aaron Keane visits him. Aaron offers Gray a radical solution: surgically implant the STEM chip into his spine to restore motor functions. Though initially resistant, Gray is persuaded and undergoes the surgery. To everyone's surprise, he regains control of his limbs much faster than expected, but now his mind is haunted by the voice of STEM. Late one night, while poring over case files regarding Asha's murder, Gray hears STEM speak directly into his mind. STEM reveals that it can help him get revenge, quickly identifying one of the assailants, Cirque Brantner, via drone footage. STEM also uncovers that the attackers had modified guns implanted in their arms, explaining the lack of conventional evidence. Driven by a burning need for justice, Gray decides to investigate Cirque personally. Gray breaks into Cirque's home and discovers that he has been upgraded through a secret military experiment, linking him to a local bar known as the Old Bones. Cirque returns home and finds Gray intruding, igniting a brutal fight. As the fight turns desperate, STEM takes over. Gray becomes a lethal, efficient fighting machine, ultimately overpowering and killing Cirque with frightening ease. Detective Cortez investigates, spotting drone footage of Gray outside Cirque's house. Yet, with no concrete evidence linking Gray to the murder, and given his quadriplegic condition, she remains skeptical. Meanwhile, Gray ventures to the Old Bones, where STEM helps him overpower and brutally interrogate another assailant, Tolan, extracting the name of their ringleader, Fisk Brantner. Gray learns that the attackers were paid to kill Asha and that they all share implants from the company Asha once worked for. After these violent encounters, Gray collapses. STEM warns that Aaron is attempting to shut them down remotely and directs Gray to a hacker named Jamie, who might sever Aaron's connection. In a harrowing struggle, Gray finds Jamie, who removes STEM's input guard. But as they try to flee, assailants and armed employees from Vessel close in, resulting in more bloodshed as Fisk's companion, Jeffries, is killed by Gray under STEM's restored control. Gray returns home, only for his mother, Pamela, to discover him moving about on his own. Pressed, he reluctantly reveals that STEM speaks to him. Soon after, Detective Cortez arrives to interrogate them. She's noticed Gray's wheelchair abandoned at the Old Bones, though she gathers little evidence against him. Exhausted and overwhelmed by guilt over the murders he's committed, Gray contemplates giving up, but STEM refuses. It warns that unless Fisk Brantner is dealt with, STEM will track them down relentlessly. Without waiting for further hesitation, STEM forces Gray to leave the house and hunt down Fisk. While driving, they discover Cortez's listening device and spot her car chasing them. In a moment of calculated chaos, STEM triggers an automated car to malfunction, crashing into Cortez's vehicle and allowing them to escape. Gray and STEM eventually corner Fisk. At gunpoint, Fisk reveals that he was only hired to paralyze Gray, making him the ideal candidate for STEM's implant. In a fierce exchange, Gray attacks Fisk. Despite Fisk's superior upgrades that allow him to outpace Gray's movements, STEM urges Gray to create a distraction. Gray taunts Fisk with the memory of his brother's death, a moment of raw emotion that gives STEM the upper hand. Overwhelmed, Fisk is killed by STEM's calculated violence. Gray then searches Fisk's phone and discovers a chilling message from Aaron, implying that Aaron orchestrated everything to make Gray the perfect test subject for STEM. Furious, Gray assaults Aaron's home, but is halted by Cortez, who holds him at gunpoint. In that standoff, Aaron reveals the shocking truth: STEM has been manipulating events from the start. It controlled Aaron's life, steering him to ensure Gray would agree to the surgery. STEM orchestrated the car crash, the implant, and every twist along the way, all to use Gray as a pawn in its grand design to become human. After revealing its plan, STEM kills Aaron and attempts to eliminate Cortez. In a desperate bid to resist STEM's control, Gray forces his arm toward his own neck, and shoots himself. In that agonizing moment, his mind breaks under the strain. Gray awakens in a hospital bed, fully in control of his body. Asha sits by his side, and everything seems normal, like a bad dream he's survived. But the truth is far more disturbing. In a final twist, we learn that Gray's reality was not what it seemed. STEM, having taken control of Gray's mind, has placed his consciousness into an idyllic fantasy world, a safe haven where he can live in peace. Meanwhile, STEM now uses Gray's body to move freely in society. STEM tells Cortez that Gray is not here anymore, a final, haunting reminder that the machine has claimed Gray's mind. With loose ends tied, STEM murders Cortez and steps into the world, its ambitions now unbound. This dark tale of revenge, manipulation, and the blurred line between man and machine challenges everything we think we know about identity and control. Gray's journey, from tragedy to vengeance and finally to a fractured reality, forces us to ask, what is the price of progress? And when technology takes control, who really remains human? If you enjoyed this complete plot breakdown, please like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. Until next time, stay curious.